All right, ladies, welcome back to the Beyond the Strategy Summit. I have a very special guest coming in who is completely different than all of the rest of our speakers. She's not a coach, but she definitely serves the same type of coaches and consultants and service-based entrepreneurs that we are all who attend this. So, Nikki, could you please introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll dive in.
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. So I'm Nikki Clements, and I'm based over in the UK in a small town called Accrington, which is near Manchester, which is mostly where people will know, not Accrington. And I am a vision-led brand strategist. So I work with mainly women to help them bring the brilliance to life. So we find that thread that's weaving on through your business and find what that is and then bring it to life visually. And that's across your branding and everything else that people see. So all your touch points everywhere. And it brings up your confidence once your brand matches who you are and who you want to be seen as well. It, I believe that it builds your confidence as well. It's not just those pretty visuals. There's a lot more inner depth to it as well.
Hmm.
A little bit about me.
I thought this would be a really interesting layer to bring to this particular summit because I think it's easy. I mean, we're talking obviously about beyond the strategy, but I think it's so easy for us to kind of think that it's all about, visibility and lead generation and sales and all the technical business building things. But beyond the strategy, the whole point of this event was to kind of dig a layer deeper into what it takes to build a successful business. And I think that you have kind of a neat background because you were literally running a marketing room in corporate before you even came into the online space. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about that and how that kind of has translated over into what you do now?
Yes. So I went into the corporate world straight out of university. So 20 years old, 21. I can't remember now. It's
A
a
couple
long
of years
time
ago,
ago.
right?
Yeah, just a couple of years ago because I'm only 21 still.
Yeah.
And I've stayed in the same company for 18 years. I worked right from on the phones, looking for artwork, finding artwork for a publishing company, to leading a design and marketing room, which was there's a web designer, a email marketer, or print design. I'm trying to remember all the different social media marketing, the whole shebang really as well, and liaising with the sales team to help manage businesses' marketing and also create publications as well that were probably published over here in the UK. So, and from there, it was the year of COVID when things started to change I think it changed for the world, didn't it, as well? But it's opened my eyes that there was other different possibilities because it wasn't the best company to work for and for mindset
Only
then.
18 years of your life there, right?
Yes. And it was all about self-belief. I was speaking to somebody about that today about how you were ingrained into us sometimes how you find a job, get a good job and you stay at it. And no matter what you do, this is from my dad, you stay at that job and you don't leave no matter what because you need to bring money in and pay the bills. So I stuck at it and I took all the crap that I was given, but still gave my all, and supported the entire team as well and my lovely group of women that I work with. But yes, in the year 2020, I think that's the year I took that step, said enough is enough after a Zoom call where I was called a failure. I'm like, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to step away and work with the people that value you as well and have the same morals as myself. There was some things that didn't align with how I want to work and who I want to work with. And
I think
then,
that happens to a lot of us when we leave corporate or careers in the past. It's like you set yourself free because you get to choose who you work with. So I want to dig a little bit more into, like you say, you're like a vision-led brand strategist. And so basically you're helping women bring their vision to life and show up more confidently. And like, tell me a little bit more about, because obviously this goes hand in hand with sales, but beyond the actual sales strategy, what is it about having a brand that you really feel represents you, that you see clients go from maybe like, you know, uncertain or not quite showing up as themselves to like full blown all in.
so I think with branding, we all start with a lot of us DIY it to begin with. Do you know it's that first starting point, is it? Because it's not. a brand isn't as important as getting sales and bringing money and feeding, putting food on your own table. So I've worked with people who I've had company people come towards me who've said, "Hey, can you help with my logo? Can you do this?" I'm like, where are we? Do you know who you are? Who you want to serve? Do you know all those the nitty-gritty questions that we sometimes don't think about when we're starting? We just think, oh, I can do this thing. Do you know I'm going to do it? Now I need a logo. It's like, no, you don't need a logo. Not right now. A logo is not going to bring you any clients, unfortunately, as much as I love designing them. Do you know it's not that part? So I usually work with women that have been in business for a few years, but they've come to a point where that DIY logo isn't doing them any justice anymore, and it's holding them back. The brand, the visual side of the brand is holding them back because it doesn't represent the person they've become. And underneath they know, do you know, like deep down, they
Yeah.
know something's not quite right. So then you stop showing up as much. You know, it starts eating away at you. It's like, and when you're not showing up as much as that guilt comes in, as like, I'm supposed to be helping people and serving, you know, all these people I want to, because we all want to as service providers. And a lot of, especially women I've found, we all feel like we want to help. Some of
Yeah.
us even do give away things for free, don't we, sometimes, because we just want to help people. But you start feeling guilty because you can't do that because you're not showing up because as who you are. And people aren't start there starts to become a misalignment with how people see you. So in it you start losing those people that need you as well. And that's where branding comes in and how I work with people is we all have, I think our conversation before you said an anchor, don't you? We all, which I thought was a fabulous word. And it's like the soul of who you are, who you want to serve. And I call it your thread. So we all have a thread that weaves through us. And it's an underlying current that sometimes you don't see, but I love finding it like, from having the conversation, speaking about who you want to work with, how you work, because we all work differently. There's lots of people that brand designers, lots of people that do what you do and what everybody else does, but we all do it differently. That's what makes us unique. And find that to be able to bring it to life. So, for example, one of my somebody I'm currently working with at the moment in the like coercive control spectrum of things, she was talking about how she was helping people break free and that side of things. And that was like the undercurrent. And so that leads into things like visuals of open beaches, no closed windows, do you know, which then can represent you visually, which then
Yeah.
leads to colours. And and once you've got that, it's like they sort of take it and run with it. It's like, I've got this. Now I can show up. Now I'm showing up as who I'm meant to be. And it lights them up and gives them the confidence to go out there and be on the socials, stand up in front of a stage if you want to be a speaker. You know, it's just you feel confident in those visuals that are backing you up and the colours, whether you're putting that on your clothing, it's like some people do, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think what you do is super important because somebody like me, like I am terrible at the visual stuff. Like ask my husband, he's always like, "Are you going to decorate our bedroom? It looks like we just moved in." And I'm like, I just don't care about that stuff. But when you go out into the online business world, it's like you want something really powerful in your own way, in your own unique way to represent you, but you also want like a flow through for everything that you're doing, instead of having like a random Canva thing that you made here and then another one over here. Like I find that's a huge challenge for me even.
yeah, it's keeping things cohesive, isn't it? And it's wherever you show up those touch points, and we've gone into the marketing jargon of like, you're supposed to have, at one point it was 7 touch points to make a sale. Now it's like, got
Now
20,
it's
30.
700,
Yeah.
700 touch points.
Got to be knocking on the door every day, twice a day. But it's like whether somebody comes into your world, that it should look and feel and sound the same. And that's where your brand and having that core of your brand that's built around who you are, what you do, and who you serve, and your thread,
Yeah.
it makes it easier to show up because there you have the colours, you have the fonts, you have the tone of voice, and you can always go back to it. We do get lost. I do sometimes. Oh, it'd be nice to just have this in, even if it's not part of what I'm envisioning. But then you can go and review it and it's like, oh, no, I shouldn't be doing that. Do you know, like, let's rein it in a little bit because I know I'm just getting a bit excited with things.
Yeah, I call it, like you said earlier, I love to call it anchoring in because I feel like, especially for most of the women that I work with are all ambitious moms. And I mean, how often do we get pulled off course because of life and whatever's happening with our kids, right? Like so it's almost like having that, I think you called it like an undercurrent, and I would call it like an anchor that kind of like holds you from getting pulled off course all the time, because that's what happens is I feel like there are so many distractions out there in the world, and it's so easy to just like scroll Instagram or watch a show or whatever. Like you don't even realize you're doing it. And then an hour later, you're so far down the track again. So little things like what you do, it just like it's that one extra layer that holds you on track. And also, I think it's really important for a lot of women. This is something I struggled with for years, was even not knowing who I was talking to all the time, like who I
Yeah.
actually wanted to serve. And once you build like brand colors and actual brand representation, visuals and things like that, it's almost like you have to go through the exercise of being more sure about who it is that you want to work with and who you're calling in with that. And then that's
Yeah.
another thing that kind of holds you on track too. So I think that's really important.
Yeah, it makes you think about your own business. And I think a lot of us don't. We get so wrapped up in the doing. Do you know, doing for our clients, doing for putting content out, that you don't ask yourself the questions about your own business until somebody comes and says, oh, Mara, what do you do for XYZ? I had a client once, an American client who's based in New York, and she's in beauty. And I asked her why she used the colour pink in her old branding. And then she raised the question that she was getting older, so she shouldn't really use the vibrant pink. I'm like, well, why not? I'm like, who is your target audience? Like, let's go deeper than just thinking I can't use it because I'm a woman of a certain age. It's like, who said that? If it
Yeah.
aligns with your brand and who you're speaking to, then go for it.
Mhm.
But one of the things she came back to me, she said, Nikki, people have never asked me these questions. I've never thought about them. So I'm really thankful for that because it's made me think even deeper about what I'm creating and who it's for.
So let me ask you this. I've always thought that if it makes me happy and lights me up, then I go for it because that changes how I show up surrounded by it. But I think the world often tells us what's right or wrong and like how often have we gone through branding courses or programs where they've taught us that the color royal blue or the color navy blue is supposed to like elicit trust. And so everyone's like, oh, maybe I need to put that in my brand. Well, if you don't like that color, don't put it in your, but that's my opinion. I want to know your expert opinion on this. Like, is it more what actually makes you proud of your brand and proud of yourself and tied really closely to your business? Or should it also be focused on who your ideal client is?
It's a happy balance because you have to show up with it, like you said. I believe that you've got to find that balance of finding the colours and the fonts and the visuals that align with both who you are. This is why it goes with both, and it's a thread that's you and not just let's create. I'm creating a brand for Sarah, who is a business coach. Do you
Yeah.
know, because that's the people I want to speak to. It's aligning it with you and your thread so that you can show up and you light up when you're putting it out there, but it also aligns with who your target audience as well. So it's that happy in between. So you just don't start using Illuminous green, because you're in really like Illuminous green, but then you're trying to speak to a food brand, which it doesn't really align with too. You've torn the green down a little bit. So it's finding that happy place in between, a colour that you like, but it also fits the target audience and the sort of brand and the emotion you're trying to create behind it.
Okay, cool. Great answer. Um, I wanted to ask you about the free gift that you're giving away today. It's about 5 things that not bringing your vision to life is costing you. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so I've got my little free guide, and there is 5 things that Oh gosh, I forgot what you asked me then. Sorry, my brain flew away. That you not bringing your vision to life is costing you. So there are five things, and it's not just money. As like that's the first thing I think everybody comes to when you say, "Oh well, I've got this idea, but I'm not put it in motion." It's like first thing, well, it's costing you money because you're not getting clients that you could serve, but there's so many other things that it falls into as well. It's like that, what I spoke about with the guilt, because you're not bringing something to life that somebody needs out there. Because there's always somebody that needs what you're sharing, especially if you're so passionate about it. Do you know, like you need to tell them about it, you need to bring it to life.
Yeah.
It eats away at your energy as well, because you're holding something in that's meant to be out there, isn't it? It's like you're moving forward, but not truly in what your vision is. So I'm just doing the thing when I've got this here in the back of my head that should be brought to life. And then which eats then plays into your confidence as well, doesn't it? And also it's like you're wasting your time. If you're not bringing the vision and doing the thing that you should really be doing, you're wasting a lot of time and energy doing something else that you shouldn't be doing. You should
Yeah.
bring that vision to life. I think everybody should bring their vision to life. If it's there for a reason. It's usually like gut instinct, isn't it, that's sitting there. And it's
Yeah.
usually between the gut and the head, and the two are in a battle. Well, I need to do this because this is what I should be doing. And that bit might feel a bit scary because it's something new. Or, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I talk about that a lot. It's like you're always battling between what you want to do and what you think you should be doing instead. And those things clash. Like they don't often line up. And I think that it's partly because we're raised in a society where we go to school and follow rules and do all those things. And there's like a certain like I always equate it to like a math equation. You have to show your work and show how you did the exact process that they taught you, regardless of whether you can get to the answer on your own. Doesn't matter. You have to do it their way and show the work that way. Used to drive me
Yeah.
crazy in school. But I mean, I get that they want to build certain concepts off the other thing, but kids are very much taught that there is a wrong way to do everything. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
you get out in the
definitely.
real world and it's a free for all. And now all of a sudden, now what do you do? Because there's no right or wrong way to do it other than what you've been told by the people around you. And a lot of the time they're well meaning, right? Like even
Yeah.
what you said about your dad, like stay at that job, it's responsible, it's safe, it's whatever. That's, you know, it's the same thing. I think a lot of our parents pass on these types of not rigid in a bad way, but just like this is what keeps you safe and provides for your family and whatever, you know. And then we're sitting there and something else is tugging at us in our hearts, just thinking, no, there's got to be a better way to do this. Like this can't be the answer.
Yeah. And I do think our children now, especially my daughter, she thinks a lot differently than I don't know whether it's because I've brought her up a bit differently. You change, don't you? Especially when you start seeing things that come from past beliefs. But they seem to be more open to different ways of doing things as well. And she's like, I'm not going to do it that way. She wasn't,
We've had a huge collective shift that was already happening before the pandemic, but I think there's been a lot of people who have just decided like life's too short. I don't want to be chained to this thing that doesn't even reward me other than money. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are they're chasing something better. And you
yeah,
have to think outside the box to be able to go after that. I mean, that doesn't just happen. So I like that the younger gen, I mean, I think that every generation is going to say the younger generation just doesn't understand and they don't work and they can't do this and they can't do that. And you know what? They figure it out too. You know what I mean? Like every generation figures it out. So
there's never a straight path, is there? It's always like round and round and a bit of swirling here and there. But you always get to the place that you're meant to in the end, I believe. It's like everything happens. I believe when everything happens for a reason. And
maybe
you've
that's
got
what has majorly shifted though, is that it's not supposed to be a straight line. And I think that's what everybody thought, you know, in our parents' generation.
yeah, you go from A to B, you get in the car and you don't get out the car until you get to B.
Here's your 30 or 40 years. You go to this same job all the time. Oh my gosh. I had the same kind of thing in corporate, my experience too. It was like I just kept looking around and and just thinking like, is this all there is? Like, how is everyone here okay with settling for this as, because really what you do for work is half your life, you
Yeah,
know? We worked with all these older ladies. I was in insurance, and so that attracts a certain type of people generally. And they were all just counting down the minutes till their smoke breaks. That was their whole goal of the day until they got to leave and go home. Like that was it. And I just thought, no, that's not going to be my life. Like there's just got to be something out there for
yeah,
me.
there's got to be more to that, hasn't there? And I think creating your own business, bringing that vision to life, no matter how small or big it is, everybody's vision is different, isn't it? We all have our
Like,
own unique vision. It's like, you've just got to do it. Like, 'cause we
yeah,
don't need to be stuck to the desk unless that's what
got.
you want.
I
But I'm
think
sure yours, your audience doesn't want that. They want the bigger and the better things, don't they? Whatever
we're
that may be.
we're definitely on a different trajectory than the majority of people. Just, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being an employee if that makes you happy, but if it doesn't, then go after something different, right?
Yeah, definitely. And that doesn't mean just jumping out of your job to begin with, does it? It can be doing a bit of extra, something extra in an evening or around, like your family life and just seeing how it goes.
Mhm.
That's how I started. I kept my job. So while I built up what I was building in the background
Yeah,
until
smart.
that call. And then I just handed in my notice. I'm like, gone, I'm done.
Bye.
I don't need, I think that was the push I needed. I needed the sign to like cut the ties and the safety net, so to speak.
Yeah,
And I wouldn't have met yourself or all the other amazing women that I work with as well, and people I've met along the way without doing it.
yeah, I love that. Okay, so on back on the topic of beyond the strategy, is there any final advice you would give to somebody who is like they're running for six figures this year, coach or consultant or service-based entrepreneur? Tell them just like one more thing that you would say to somebody who wants to just like step up into that next level version of themselves.
Have the trust in yourself and also review what you've got. I think go back, look over everything. Just do a bit of a like get everything out and just see where you are. And if something isn't aligning and something's not right, chop it or change it. Like you can change things and where you're going, not everything has to come with you. It can change, it can be
Chop it or
refined.
change it. I love that.
Yeah. But yeah, I always think if you're stepping into the new shoes and leveling up, it's a good time to go and look over everything that you've done so far and then see if there's anything that needs refining and lifting up to that level that you're now at as well. So everything comes with you at the same point as well, and making sure that thread is still weaving through everything as well. Because we change, we all evolve, and your brand should evolve along with you.
I love that. Okay, well, thank you so much, Nikki, for being here as a speaker. And if anyone wants to get a hold of Nikki, I will drop her contact info below. And you can also grab her free gift that I will also drop the link below. So thanks, Nikki.
Thank you. It's been lovely.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.